Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. I wasn't going to make this video, and then I kind of figured out a way to make a six-sided polygon pattern a little easier when you're duplicating it over. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'm going to set my nudge factor on. Let's see how big this thing is. I need to set it more than 4. So let's go 10 inches. And I'm just getting these stripes out of the way. And if you didn't watch part 1 or 2, you might be a little bit confused. And I missed a color. I'm going to say it's that color right there. And then I had it. I just hit it twice. Then I'm going to left click, right click. And the one reason I decided to make the video, so I'm going to group those together, is I was going to show in the previous video, I made it 20.1 degree rotation, and this is why. This is a good example. So I'm going to Control D, Alternate C to get it rotate from the center, and I'm going to rotate it 60 degrees. And you can see those lines there between them. Well, a lot of times it's not going to weld. So you've got two choices. See, the outer ones didn't weld. You've got two choices. They're just hairlines, but they just didn't weld. So you could go through with your variable, can't even think of the name, virtual segment delete key and delete the lines. But that's, beside the point. And then I didn't even make the graphic yet, or make it work. So I'm going to go back to here. And if you use the twirl tool, and in this particular case, we do not want to touch that top layer bar this time. We don't want to top the sides, but we don't want to touch. And I'm having a little bit of trouble, so I've just discovered if you hit it, I'm going to nudge it over 1. If you hit it and select it, and then when you get your twirl tool, it'll be selected. So just don't hit that top line. And you could get it smaller, and you don't want to hit, so in other words, you don't want to hit any outer line. Let's make it 5.5, and let's just kind of wave that a little bit. And you could do a lot with anything. You could take, I don't think we'll use the shape tool because it's grouped together. We could ungroup it real quick, go up to object. And this really isn't what the video is about. I'm going to show you more so what the video is about. And I enjoy playing with stuff like this. So we're just going to kind of make some patterns. But as long as we don't touch that top line, we're okay. And you could even, do this to the bottom one, add a node, and we'll just bring it to a point. Now I'm going to Control G to group it, nudge it back over to the center, Control D to duplicate, Alternate C to make it rotate, and it's a 6-sided polygon, so it'll go 60 degrees. And then if that ever happens, just Control D, and then just make it 180. Control D, Control D. So then what I was showing, if you select all this and weld it, it's not going to take those parts away. That one little graphic I did at the end kind of makes it different. So you've got two choices. You can delete all those lines, or you could use the Smart Fill tool. We'll make it blue. And you can I want blue. You can just fill in all these spots. And you know what? Now I'm going to definitely change my nudge factor. Let's back up here. Let's just delete that one. Let's change our nudge factor to, let's make sure it gets out of the way, 15. And again, this isn't really why I made that's not even going to be enough, but I'll just double nudge it. Always make sure your nudge is far enough. And my computer's acting a little bit slow today because I've got that big pattern on it. And so if you take this and weld it now, the lines will still be there, but you can't see them. So just real quick, because I think this new way is really So what I'm going to do on the other ones, I'm going to go in and virtue segment delete these lines. It's so easy and actually probably faster. I'm not going to do the outside one because we've already got the outside one done. And see, it did, some of them, but every other one, it just didn't do it. And I think we get 2 more. All right, now our nudge is still the same. And I did the top one, so I'm going to do the second one. And then the third one. And then this one. And I'm going to call that good. Now, I'm going to actually, well, let's take the Smart Fill tool and change it to a different color. Let's make it red so it just stands out. It'll be not very attractive. Kind of hard to remember which one you did. And we'll go ahead and do that center one too. Well, you know what? Let's make that outer one red. Let's just leave it all red. So here's what I figured out today. Control G to group it. To do anything like this, you've got to nudge it or move it and duplicate it. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to rotate it 30 degrees so I can have a flat side here. And I'm going to make it, with my ratio lock, I'm going to make it 4 inches. Now I'm going to set my nudge factor on 4 and watch this. Control D or hit the plus key on your keyboard. Now, here's the problem. If we group this, Control G and Control D to duplicate, with all these colors, it's kind of hard to find out if you snap to. Well, I'd make a duplicate. Control D. So the way I kind of did it today is going to make life a lot easier because I draw like this a lot. So I did that one good, but there's a little bit of line that I can kind of see. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing that, I've got this one the way I want it. I'm going to Control D to duplicate it, and I'm going to rotate it. No, I'm not going to duplicate it. I just want one copy. I'm going to rotate it now 60 degrees. Now, still got my nudge factor set on 4, Control D, and they're going to be perfect. And it's in a weird shape, but we're going to use a circle. And, you know, this will work, you know, even if you mess up and group these later, and then Control D, you can still nudge it like the 4 times, and it's moving. You can actually see the darker color in the middle, and you can go too far and then come back. But what it is, everyone's going to be perfect. There's not going to be any white line because we did it right. So then if you wanted to use this, Control G to group it, you know, get you a rectangle or something, make sure you can see it, and then select it all and intersect it. It takes just a second because it's having to do a lot of work. And then you have that pattern, and it's faultless. You know, you can always see these kind of dots until you deselect it. That's almost messes with your eyes. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.